Hey everyone, it's Lady Linda Bird. Today I just want to share my personal experience with this last hurricane that we went through, Hurricane Milton. From the chaos of evacuating to the relief and the hard work of returning home to clean up. So we started getting, well, as some of you may know, down here in Florida we've had 3 major hurricanes this summer. In August, the first weekend of August, I was up in Burlington, North Carolina. I was there with one of the insurance agencies I work with. We were having like a weekend convention. I was already planning I drove from Sarasota to Burlington. I was already planning to drive up to Maryland because I was going to bring my grandson back with me. But once I got to Burlington and I drove up to Maryland, that's when Debbie broke loose. And the flooding was crazy. And then she went up through North Carolina and up. And we thought she was going to veer off, but she had a mind of her own. So once I got up there, I said, well, let me just go ahead and stay. So I ended up staying in Maryland for a week with my kids because I couldn't, it didn't make sense to try to drive back down to Florida and all of that. Because I would come down 95 anyway. So got back down home and I didn't experience any flooding, but a lot of people did, especially in a community called the Meadows. Lost their cars, their homes. They had just ridiculous. That was August. Excuse me. And then right behind that, we had Hurricane Helene. So with Helene, I wasn't really that much concerned because where I live, even though I do live on the Gulf Coast of Florida, I live about maybe I'd say a good 10 miles from the actual water line. And I don't know, it's just the storm was out to sea. It was 100 miles off. And even though I'm listening and they're like saying, we're going to have storm surge, I just really, honestly, in my heart of hearts, I was not that concerned about the effects of Helene. And I already, because I knew how my house was situated and it's up on an uphill, I wasn't worried about being affected by storm surge. But boy, oh boy, our beautiful little Anna Maria Island and Siesta Key, it's just, our beaches are just not the same. That devastation from Helene, how that affected our landscape, I don't know. It's going to take a long time for us to heal and get back to some sort of normalcy from that. But then right behind that, before we'd even had time to wrap our heads around all the stuff that happened from that particular storm, here comes Milton. And Milton was just a different kind of beast. Milton is out to sea. It just, boom, jumped on us so fast. And I listened to a meteorologist. His name is Dennis Phillips. He lives in Sarasota, and he's pretty straightforward. And, for days we knew that Milton was heading our way. But it was fast. And just kept watching, and this is what happens. I don't know about most people, but me, I track the storm. I'm a storm chaser. But I made sure that my batteries were all charged. I made sure that my jump boxes were all together. I started already packing up early, making sure that my essentials, my documents, I don't take medications, but important papers like my passport, banking documents, tax, stuff like that, pack that up in totes and put it up higher. And you just can't put everything up. When you're thinking about evacuating and getting away, you're doing it more about safety, and it happens so fast. But we were fortunate that we did have time. The evacuation process was kind of hectic because me personally, I didn't want to go. Now, my sister Julia, who also lives here in Sarasota, we have different personalities. I'm more chill and more calm. And I'm I don't get nervous. She does. So she's like, have you seen this latest storm coming? But I was like, yeah, it's gonna pass. She's like, I don't think so. And she was right. So we had decided, this is what it was. We didn't really know where we were gonna go. I suggested that we go up to North Carolina where my cousin lived, and possibly even just keep going up to Maryland. But we knew Mom couldn't take, my 87-year-old mother would not have been able to handle that ride. And then Julia prayed on it, and the answer came in the form of our niece calling and saying, hey, you guys can come over here. We've got room. So my niece is married. She's got a 17-year-old kid. So it's like already 3 adults, and then 3 more adults coming. So that's like cool. So I packed up I had some baby back ribs and some bunch of fish and just different things that I didn't want to see go bad. So I packed all that up in the cooler, and I put I put water in big Tupperware containers with lids, and put bottled water, because I figured, when I come back home, if the bottled waters if the water melted, I'd have drinking water. I'm trying to think ahead. And we were going to leave on Tuesday morning. Now, that would have been, I'm looking at the date. Tuesday morning would have been October 8th. On the evening of October 6th, my sister calls me, that's Sunday, and she says, hey, sis, I think we need to pack up and leave tomorrow. I don't think we should wait till Tuesday. And I really wasn't ready. But I'm so glad that was her mindset and that I agreed. And we both, because we were driving separate cars, but still. The reason why we felt it would be better to leave as early as possible was because, and it turned out to be a wise decision. Man, that road was unbelievable. We only had 120 miles to go. And it literally took us 7.5 hours to get to my niece's house. And it was just bumper to bumper traffic, and people were already starting to panic. And we said, you know what? It's a good thing we decided to leave today, because by tomorrow it's going to be crazier. And it was, because people were running out of gas on the road. Can you imagine the anxiety, the what they call the pangs of distress and the anger? So we got to my niece's house, and it was really a lot of fun. I did a lot of cooking. We had wine. We had, we were supposed to play cards. We never got that far, but we just had a really nice family time. My niece, who I never really got to know growing up, she told me that she's glad we got to spend that time together, because she knows where she gets her personality. So I kind of took that as a real compliment. We had fun. So I do have a quick video of their property after the storm. That night when the storm hit, of course it hit Sarasota first, and then by the time it came over to that part of the state, it was more of like a tropical storm. But we did have a lot of cleanup to do over there as well, and it was it was noisy. So we stayed Thursday, and we decided it was time to go home on Friday. So we left Friday around 10:30 after everyone had had breakfast, and it was another 7.5 hours to get home. And one of my neighbors had texted me and told me that not to hurry because there was no electricity. But guess what? When I walked in my house and I've turned the key in my door, the light over my stove came on. So the power came on as soon as I walked through the door, which was a good thing. My neighbor that I'm talking about, he's also one of my insurance clients, and I had asked him to go and check my house and send me pictures, and then he didn't send them to me right away, and I was calling him and kept going to voicemail, and I kind of had a little bit of a panic attack, because I was like, he probably can't put together the words to tell me that my house has been leveled. But fortunately, it wasn't. Then he called me and he goes, "Oh, my phone had died." But where it gets kind of tough is that many of my neighbors were not so fortunate. Roofs ripped off, insulation all on the roads. That's when I got home. Really, really rough. And I just cried. I couldn't do anything but cry. My next door neighbor, she's disabled and she wasn't going to leave. And I told her, I said, "Honey, call, they will come and get you." And her whole carport is gone. A lot of people don't have any place to come home to. Cars destroyed from the water. It's a really serious situation here. And we're just dealing with it, you know. Fast forward to the aftermath. Like I said, when it was finally safe to return home, came home. Fortunately, the damage to my home was just minimal. There's a lot of cleanup, which I still have to do. I did the carport and my patio, but I still have to do my front porch, and there's still a lot of stuff around. And we're just working together, you know, like the neighbors, we're just working together to try to get this thing done. To see all of the linemen, and they come from different states and they help us out. And it just makes you just feel really fortunate, but then you feel really sad for people like in places like Anna Marie Island and North Carolina, Asheville. Just makes you really count your blessings and be fortunate, feel really fortunate for coming through, you know. I just think one of my biggest takeaways is always be ready to go. Have a to-go bag. Be ready to go. Be obedient. And they tell you to evacuate, that we need to evacuate. Now, my mom, she said she knew that it was serious when I packed up because I was not an evacuator. But this time I was. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking and I'm going to share with you guys some video clips and some pictures, actual pictures, and then I'll come back and wrap it up. I do thank you so much for listening, and hopefully you'll like and subscribe to this channel and become a part of my community. It says live evacuation, Milton evacuation on Monday, October 7th. It's about 1 o'clock, 1:42. I have made 63 miles in 2 hours. So I am glad that I decided to leave today instead of tomorrow. Anyway, it's crazy. Anyway, this is what it's like. Inch by inch. Slowly we creep down I-75 to the other side of the state. Hey, it's me, Lady Linda Bird. I just decided to hop on here while I'm driving. So just so you know, the phone is mounted. I am paying attention. We don't want you to have an accident. But I'm in the process of evacuating from my home on October 7th, 2024, because there's this hurricane called Milton who has decided to wipe out a big part of Florida. So apparently this storm is a category, is what we call a Cat 5 at this point, and is probably scheduled to hit by Wednesday morning or Wednesday afternoon, possibly early Thursday. But anyway, if you've been watching the news, you know what's going on. And I have been driving for 2 hours and I have not even gotten over 65 miles. It's so slow because I'm not the only one who's made a decision to evacuate. A lot of people on the road. Well, I'm going to go ahead and sign off for now. There's nothing really to report other than the fact that we are trying to make it to a safer place, and understanding that property is irrelevant, and it doesn't matter whether you're rich or poor. If you lose your life trying to hunker down, as they say, and ride something out that is beyond your control, it is what it is. So I made a decision just to pack up my house the best I could, prepare the best that I could, put down, the hurricane shutter, and move stuff that might fly around and be a dangerous debris, and unplug everything that didn't need to be plugged in, and I'm out. It's like I say, when in doubt, paddle out. So I am paddling out and keeping my faith in God, and hope that everything works out, that when I go back home Friday, that I have a roof over my head. Keep us in prayer. Thank you. Well, I did not chronicle the storm, and I'm kind of glad I didn't. It was scary. It wasn't my first hurricane, but it was really my very most dramatic one. But look at the dock. These you can normally walk out. This is my niece's property in Sanford, and the water did come up quite a bit. See, you can see that. But it's a beautiful day out today. I truly feel totally, completely blessed, because I know that things could have been worse. So I'm heading back home to Sarasota, and I will be taking pictures and cleaning up, and we won't have any electricity for a couple of days. But look how beautiful things are right now, nice and calm. Hard to believe that last couple of days ago, nature was trying to kill us. And now it's gorgeous. Okay. Well, I have so much to be grateful for. This was torn off where my hot water heater is, but I found the panel. And let's see. Little fascia's torn off and missing, but that can always be replaced. And whew, oh boy. Well, it's not too bad. It's the porch, but I can live with that. Oh my goodness, the tree fell. We just have a lot of cleanup to do, and we'll do it. Let's see what else is going on back here. Wait a minute. That's really it. I got air. Came home. I have electricity, and my air conditioning unit is working. Much to be thankful for. Tomorrow I'm going to go check the rest. Oh my word. I'm going to go around and see what other devastation my neighbors have dealt with. It's horrible. Nothing like a good Cat 5 hurricane to force you to have to get outside and get things cleaned up. Boy, I'll tell you. But anyway, I'm getting ready to power wash my shed. Well, darn, I tried to do a live Instagram video, but it didn't work, and I'm okay with that. We're just doing cleanup. I'm gonna go over I made out pretty okay. I'm not gonna lie. I still have a home. I have a roof over my head. We have a lot to clean up. A lot. This is just one area, but there are people who actually lost their homes, lost their roofs, their cars. I was very, very fortunate. I evacuated from Milton and went up to my niece's house in Sanford. And when I came home, the minute I walked through the door, the lights were on. Yesterday, my internet came on, and now I'm just trying to take this afternoon to clean up what I can. I'm exhausted, as you can see, but I will be going on my YouTube channel, Lady Linda Bird, and with some information that's going to help seniors who may be concerned about their Medicare open enrollment. You don't need to be. Don't get scammed. Don't get panicked. You have time. We always get what's called a special election period after any kind of disaster. We will have one after this one. We also have one that's wrapping around Helene. So we're going to discuss that, and also the changes with the prescription drug plans. So I'm out of here. Just keep your prayers and keep us in your thoughts, okay? It's been rough, but we're getting it back together. Well, guys, if you've hung in with me this far, you kind of got a little bit of my story about how me and my family experienced the hurricane. I had my mom, my sister, my niece and nephews, and some of the damage. But we're working together. Some of the pictures you're going to see will show an actual, show the lineman. And that was so, oh man, I was like, just my heart. And we have a showering station that the county has put together where people can go and use the bathroom, take a shower, use internet. So there's some good things that come out. We've got some good humans working together to try to get us through this time. We will pull back together. Sarasota will be the vacation, beautiful paradise that it's always been. It's going to take some time and some work. Anyway, if you stuck in here this far, I hope that you will consider liking and subscribing. I do other things. I'm an insurance agent, broker here in Sarasota, and I talk about insurance issues. I like to cook. Sometimes I do cooking, but that's about it. So thank you for spending this time with me.